I hope you all are having a wonderful day, wonderful week, whatever time you are watching this. So, I'm back for another week of my vlog. Last week I did not put out a vlog because I was sick, and the last time I was sick that way, I had a really sore throat. I woke up, I think Monday morning. It all started Monday morning, Monday afternoon. I noticed that my throat was very swollen, and so it hurt. Like it hurt to swallow, it hurt to speak, and I noticed that I was just so tired. And the last time I felt that way was in February when I was done with therapy. I was done with therapy, I think like January 30th. And January 31st, I got sick where I had this viral infection, and my throat was so swollen, it hurt to swallow. So I felt like that last week, but it wasn't as intense. And so I learned from previous experiences that when that happens, I need to just rest. Like I need to just rest because um, one time I did not rest, and you all heard me talk about Cadre, right? A mental health app that I am on as a live streamer, and I decided that I was well enough to do a live stream, and guess what? It kicked my ass. I learned. I started coughing uncontrollably on my live stream, and I felt a tickle. Like I felt a tickle in my throat, and I drank my water. I'm like, you know what? I have hot water here with lemon. I'll be okay. And you know how you think that you got it contained? It was not contained. The more I tried to contain it, the more it went out, and I just started going. And of course, I had my microphone on too, this microphone, and so I had the microphone on too, and I had like I think like three people watching the live stream. So, um, and it was mortifying. I was like 10 minutes into my live stream, and I felt a tickle. I just felt it right here, and I thought, oh no, okay, just drink your water. You're gonna be okay. And I drank, and then it just. I'm not like, excuse me. And I did that, and I like quickly ended it, and I'm like, oh my god, I have my microphone. Did they hear all of that? I was so mortified. I was just so embarrassed, and I'm like, what if people see me like doing this? And so that was a lesson that I learned. I had to learn the hard way about what happens when I choose not to rest and push through. And so that was an embarrassing lesson I had to learn. And because of that lesson, I learned that, you know what? When I don't feel 100%, it is okay to rest. It is okay to rest. It is okay to focus on my health. And my body is literally telling me something. It's telling me, girl, you better rest. Because if you're not going to rest, these are the consequences of you not resting. And so I learned the hard way. And so, hence, that's why I decided not to work, not to do my vlog, not to go on my live stream at all last week. And you know what? My body so needed that. Even this week, I'm still feeling a little tired. Of course, I had a really busy weekend. So my weekends are always busy. But yeah, and so that's why I've been resting. And if you did not get a chance to catch my previous vlog, I actually talked a lot about this, about rest and the importance of rest, and why I created this life of alignment and creating my own privilege. And that privilege includes rest also. On the days that I'm like, you know what, I don't feel mentally or physically here present, it's okay to rest because, again, a lot of my work is being present for other people. And even doing this vlog, I have to be present with all of you who chooses to watch this. So, hence why I took some time off and I'm back. It's so exciting. Today is the first day of work again. And so I'm getting ready for one of my live streams. Of course, it's a Monday. I'm going to do a little bit of recording too. So I know that sounds a lot, but I'm actually going to take it easy. I'm actually going to take it really easy today. And so, one thing that I wanted to really try out and do this on video was I ordered a new makeup cushion. For anybody who's watching this, it's like Yapota. It's a Dewy Day moisturizing apricot cushion foundation from Yapota. It's a Korean brand, and so I actually wanted to use this, but again, last week I was sick, and it actually came like I think the week before. So I'm like, you know what? I am going to use this while I'm getting ready to work. And so I opened the package, beautiful package, and here is the here's how it looks like. So I've always loved cushion makeup, and the last one I had was a Lancome one, which is holy moly, it was probably like, 10 years ago? Oh my God, can it be 10 years ago? Maybe 10 to 8 years ago, because I knew I had it before I moved here. And so I opened this, and this is pretty. It's so pretty. It says, have a dewy day. Indeed, I will have a dewy day. So I'm getting ready for all of this. I love cushion makeup. And after Lancome, I couldn't find another one that I wanted. And so I kind of stopped with the cushion makeup. And honestly, I've always loved Korean stuff. I feel like they are so ahead of us in makeup and skincare and everything. So I'm opening it up. Ooh, fancy, fancy here. And so, okay, I am unwrapping the. Oh, oh. Okay, so I have to unwrap. I have to unwrap this. Oh gosh. Okay, bear with me while I do this. Oh, damn. Okay, got it off. Got it off here. Got it off. Ooh, look at this. And so I think I got the color um N3N. And so I already put lotion on. And so I think I just push it in. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. Whoa. Okay, and so all right. Okay, let's see this. Ooh. Wow. I don't have my glasses on, so let's see how this goes here, okay? Oh, oh, wow. I am seeing the difference already. Holy moly. Wow. And you know the best thing is have to I don't have to use a lot. At least I don't think this is a lot for like a full coverage here. Whoa. Wow. Guys, ladies, who's ever watching this? Is it just me or do I look like really dewy and just clear here? Holy moly. A little bit under my eye here. And honestly, I'm not the best makeup applicator, person who puts on makeup. So if I'm doing anything wrong, let me know in the comments. I just couldn't go with it. I've never been, I never know if I'm like putting on makeup right. I just do what feels right for me. And so if I'm doing anything wrong or if I could do anything better, let me know here, okay? Whoa. Wow. Oh my God. Wow. People, am I just wow. Okay. Wow. What a difference here. So I'm actually doing this because I'm getting ready to again record some episodes, and I also wanted to show all of you my new foundation here. Oh my goodness! Wow. My God. Impressive. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna put some concealer on in a little bit. So Today's actually going to be an easy day for me for makeup wise. I just want to put on the base because honestly, like I said, I'm still a little tired, and I am going to make it easy today for me. So okay, wow, okay, what do you guys think? Wow, I am impressed with this. This is really impressive. Okay, awesome. This is great. So I am going to get ready. I'm going to film a few episodes and then get ready for my live stream with Kyrie. So I will talk to you all in a little bit. Hey, everybody. This is me testing for sound for recording for a episode for my mental well-being. No, actually, your own pathway, leadership and mental well-being in the workplace. So excuse me, before I record, I always check the sound because I have learned, unfortunately, the hard way. When I do not check the sound and I talk for 10 minutes and there is no sound, and the first 10 minutes is the most important because that's where I am explaining why I am doing the episode and the topic and everything. So, fortunately, I have learned the hard way, and so now I'm testing. So, whenever I test, I usually just do something really simple. Like testing, testing, one, two, three, testing, testing, one, two, three, testing sound, one, two, three, testing sound. Hope you all can hear this. So, hey everybody, this is Fire for Your Own Pathway. So, just testing all of this. Part of what I do, again, learn the hard way. You live, you learn. You F up and you're just like, oh, god damn it. So, testing sound and let's see if this all works here. All right. All right, this is me testing the sound after I just recorded. Okay, let's see if it works. Hey, everybody, this is me testing for sound for recording for a episode for my mental well-being. It works. No, actually, your own pathway, leadership and mental well-being in the workplace. So, excuse me, before I record, I always check the sound because I have learned, unfortunately, the hard way. When I do not check the sound and I talk for 10 minutes and there is no sound, and okay, everybody, it works. And I will again talk to you all later. Today is recording for your own pathway, leadership and mental well-being in the workplace. The episode will talk about a specific topic related to mental health in the workplace. So check that out. I will also link not all, I will link the episode in the description box for this vlog. And this is just my quick setup here. So I will talk to you all. Again, I will see you all in a little bit here. This is my weekly vlog for your own pathway, behind the scenes of your own pathway here. So, hey everybody, another day of your own pathway. Today's exciting because you know why? I am leaving the house today. I'm actually going to go to an event hosted by my friend for 8 to 8 portal, and we're going to have a women's get together to talk about abundance, intentions, and all the fun stuff. So I am leaving the house today. I have my makeup. Today's my lazy makeup. Gosh, I really need something to hold this. I bought something and I haven't opened it. So typical of me. But I am leaving my house today, and excited to get out. I am leaving early because I tend to take wrong turns and wrong exits and miss my exits, and I have a tendency to not be able to find the places right on time. So knowing me, I'm going early because, I just want to be respectful of people's time and energy, and so that's why I'm leaving early. And I will we'll see if she lets me do a little bit of recording of her new place for this. So excited, and it's nice to get out of the house. It's a really hot and humid day today in August, so definitely have my AC on, and I will talk to you all in a little bit here. All right, okay, I'm officially outside. It's beautiful and hot. All right. Wow. Okay. So it's very nice today. Um, nice journaling. All the plants. Very nice here. Okay. Let's see. Oh my goodness! Look at this room. This is the Zen room for Jackie's place. Wow, isn't this nice? Let me step back here. So peaceful. Isn't this gorgeous, everybody? I love this. Isn't this gorgeous? So this is Jackie's Zen room. We definitely had a Zen. Definitely had a Zen meeting here. So if you're in the Twin Cities area, I will Hey everybody, I hope you all can hear and see me. So, welcome back to my vlog. I think this is my third episode that I am putting out. It has been quite a few, it's been like 2 weeks since I think I put out my last vlog. And I think it was like not last July. I think it was like late July when I did that. So, excuse me. So what have I been doing since my last vlog? I've rested. I had a lot of family things going on, and I really listened to my body because the first week of August, I was just so tired. My body was just so tired, and I just really needed to rest. I really needed to, excuse me, not work, of course. I start having a cough or my throat tickle when I am doing this. So that usually always happens. So, anyways, welcome back to your own pathway vlog. As you can see, I've had a very eventful week. A lot of planning. So after the 2 weeks, after the first week, so last week I actually did a lot of work. It was very productive. And have you guys ever felt like where you didn't want to work, but you knew you had to? And for me, I wanted to work. I should clarify. I wanted to work and I just needed to take it slow. So that's what I did last week. As you can see, I went to a women's group with my friend Jackie. Lovely, lovely place. For anybody who is interested, who is in the Twin Cities area, Jackie is going to have another group in September. So I will link her information in the description box for anyone who is interested in attending her monthly women's group. I couldn't say women's group. So excuse me again. And so, yeah, it's been very productive. I actually had a very productive morning already. I had my podcast recording with the lovely Brenda Bruzagard. I think I said her last name right. I had to practice that. So we had a lovely podcast recording, and her episode should probably be out in September. So look for that also. And you know how I talked about August, how I was just resting. And, one thing I realized that I was kind of feeling detached. So I had to really think, is this a good feeling detached or is this a bad detachment where I felt like numb or what was it? And I decided it was a good detachment. It was a good detachment because I just did not I didn't feel the need to deal with other people's bullshit. And let me clarify that I'm very supportive. I have empathy. I have sympathy for people. Don't get me wrong. I have those emotions for people. I support people. And yet also, I'm at a point in my life where if people keep telling me the same shit over and over, and are not doing anything about it, I don't waste my time and my energy, my brain cells, um, my time, energy, and brain cells with people, situations like that. And I've really learned to protect myself within the last year. I feel like last August when I came back from Bali, everything just shifted inside of me that I had to do a lot of internal work, and I had to come to a lot of conclusions, and I had to really develop my boundaries on what I needed to protect and what I needed to let go of. And I think for people like us who are in the helping profession, we go in the profession for a reason. We want to help people. And one of the most frustrating parts with also the helping profession is when we help people who don't want to help themselves and are doing nothing about it, and it becomes so frustrating. And so I think a lot of that has to do with why I am protecting my peace, protecting who I am, protecting everything, because peace is peace is very precious. Once you find the peace, you're going to do everything to protect it, and that includes protecting it from other people who bring drama, who bring chaos, who bring who bring the same shit over and over again. And so I've I've really had to protect me because I realized nobody else was going to protect me, and I had to protect me. And so I really I really had to do my inner work within the last year, and I realized that a part of that was me isolating, and I had to isolate to get clarity. Brenda and I talked about this in a podcast episode, which she brought up a great point again. Watch her episode when it comes out, which will be in September. So, excuse me. And so the silence and the detachment gave me a lot of clarity about what is important and what's not important. And I realized there was a lot of shit that was not important. A lot of shit or other people's shit that they were trying to put on me. And I'm like, wait a minute, why am I like internalizing other people's shit? It's not even my shit to deal with. And so that's what I really had to do. And I had to detach and protect myself. And when I say detach, I want to clarify that I am very socially aware of what is going on in the world. Don't get me wrong, I'm very aware, I'm very supportive of what's going on. And at the same time, though, I have to ask myself, what is in my control and what is not in my control? A lot of things that I have detached from are not in my control. I voted for the person who is not in office, so that tells you something. And now there are lots of consequences with everything going on. And yes, I'm socially aware. Yes, it sucks that we are living this time. And yet, these are the consequences of our actions, of our votes. And this is what happens. And again, I'm like, this is out of my control. I can only control what is in my control, and that includes my actions, reactions, and who I let in and out of my life. There are some things that are out of my control, and when it is out of my control, I have to say, okay, what is this teaching me? What am I learning this? What is this happening? Why is this happening? And so, of course, I want to say that I'm never like, oh, like always positive. I allow myself to feel, I allow myself to bitch if I need to or vent. Don't get me wrong, I am very much like that too. And then I let go because what is the point? What is the point of holding on? And that is the one thing I've learned in the past year is what is the point of all of this? What is it teaching me? And what happens when I hold on to shit, when I hold on to chaos, when I hold on to disturbance, when I hold on to other people's projections and their unhealed wounds and unhealed trauma? What does that do for me? And I realized it's not my problem. It is not my problem. And so I've really learned the importance of detachment. And not letting that bullshit come into my life. And let me tell you, it has made my life so much better. So much better that honestly, when there's chaos, when there is other people's crap that they try to put on me, I can definitely feel my body tensing. I can feel myself being worried. I feel myself having more anxiety, and I think to myself, why am I allowing this? Why am I allowing this? And so I wrote a blog about this in my blog, Your Own Pathway, where I said I'm at my aha stage. And I will also link that in the description box where I'm like, you know what? I'm at my aha stage of life. And what I mean by that is the aha stage is I no longer argue with people. So many people want to argue and prove their point to me or say something that I'm just like, you know what? I don't have the energy. I don't have the time to put myself through this. What I learned is people don't want to listen. People don't want to listen. They're going to say what they want to say, and they're never, ever, 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 ever going to take the time to reflect and say, I wonder why Paia is saying that, or what is Paia's point in that? So many people want to be loud, they want to be arrogant, which leads to their ignorance. And I I've already realized that, but I really realized that when I was in Bali last year, where I'm like, you know what? People are going to say what they want to say. They're not going to take the time to listen because they don't want to listen. They don't want to learn. They don't want to listen. They don't want to stay curious. They think that they're right. And when they think they're right, nothing else matters. And I'm like, there is no point in me spending time with them, trying to argue with them, trying to prove a point. You know what they say? You can lead a horse to the water, but you cannot make it drink. I learned that. And again, especially doing therapy, I learned that you cannot make anybody do anything they don't want to do. And so it is such burnout. And, you're just hitting your head like, why? I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm at my stage in life. I'm not going to argue with people. I'm not going to try to be louder than them. I'm not going to try to prove a point. And I'm just going to say, okay, all right. All right then. That's what you believe. That's what you believe. Like I said, if someone says 2 plus 2 equals 22, I'm not going to say, no, that's 4. I'm just going to say, okay, all right. All right, it is 22. You are right. It is 22. Because people like that don't want to. They don't want to hear your feedback. They don't want you to challenge them. Because when you do, they get louder and they are very emotional people. I would say I used to be, especially in my 20s and 30s, I felt like I needed to prove a point too because I wanted to be heard. I wanted people to hear my voice. And so I would always have a rebuttal or a comeback. And now that I'm in my 40s, your girl here does not have that type of energy. She does not have that type of energy. She does not have that type of time. And this is why I am very selective professionally and personally of who I connect with and allow in my circle. And professionally, I am an empowerment life coach and organizational leadership consultant, and I do content creation. I work with people who want to be better, who want to do better, who want to make a change within themselves. I no longer work with people who I have to try to convince them that this will be something good for them. I'm done with that part of my life. I did a lot of therapy with people who chose not to come to therapy and had to come to therapy. And it was exhausting. It was exhausting doing therapy with people who don't think that they needed therapy. I don't do that kind of work anymore. I no longer use my energy to work with people who don't want to um, forge their own path, who don't want to own it. And people, I have a skill that is very valuable and is very marketable. And so I choose to be selective about the kind of clients that I work with. And personally, my personal circle has really dwindled down because I realized that a lot of people, I used so much of my energy previously trying to empower people who wanted empowerment, who wanted my feedback. And it was so frustrating when I gave them all that feedback and they still did nothing about it. And they continued to be in the same situation, to not do anything about it, to continue hanging with people who were probably not the best for them or who did not take the steps that they needed to make changes in their life. And that got so exhausting, and I had to ask myself, why? Why are you surrounding with yourself with people who are not like-minded? And so my circle within the last year has really, really dwindled down, and I'm okay with that. I am okay with that because again, protecting my peace, protecting my energy is so important to me because when you surround yourself with exhausting, chaotic, unmotivated people, it gets to you. It gets so much to you, and you realize, you know what, I don't have to be around people like that. And so that's what I had to do. And so what was my point in all of this? I feel like I'm really talking a lot. So and so, oh yes, and so I'm at the point in stage of my life, which brought me to like an event where I was in Las Vegas, where I was in a taxi with a cab driver. And not that this matters, but I was there for a healthcare conference in Las Vegas in March, and I had a taxi driver. All my previous taxi drivers in Las Vegas during that trip were so nice. They were so, they were very talkative. They were just talking about how much Vegas had changed since COVID started and how much slower it has been. And a lot of them said that it has never recovered. And so there were like parts of their job that they were struggling. Again, this is March. I know I'm filming this in the summer of 2025, and there's so much going on about Las Vegas tourism being down. And so in March, the cab drivers were already saying that they have not recovered from COVID. And so I had this cab driver. Now that it matters, and she was a woman. She had a accent, and I asked her, I just, to make conversation. That was my first, that was my first mistake. There was having conversation with a cab driver. Some cab drivers want to talk, some of them don't want to talk, and so I should have assumed that she wanted to talk. So I will own that. And I said, "How has it been for you since COVID started?" And she snapped. She goes, "I don't believe in COVID." Gosh, she's like, this is a made up by the government to scare us. I don't believe in that. She was just like, I don't believe in that. That is false. It's just made to scare us. I don't believe in any of that. And the old me would have tried to challenge her and say, you know what, COVID actually does exist. But I'm like, you know what, this person, how she said all of this makes me know for sure that she is not going to listen because she thought she knew everything already. And I am not downplaying her experience because she is a cab driver. But I'm like, I'm here for a healthcare conference. I'm here for a healthcare conference. I'm there with other doctors, other professionals who work in healthcare, including mental health and physical health. And we are here talking about all these things. And to have a cab driver whose expertise is probably not in medicine tell me that COVID is a hoax, I left it at that. I was like, okay, all right. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to argue with people who will not listen or who will not take feedback. And I said, you know what? No, I just let it go. I'm like, okay, all right. And so I'm not wasting time anymore. I am not wasting time. I'm not wasting my energy. I'm not wasting my brain cells to argue with people who, again, who think they know everything, even though that is not their specialty. And I will say right here, I have a certain specialty, and there are other things that I don't have specialty in. And that's perfect. That's perfectly fine. This is why I hire people to work with them. Okay. If I want someone's expertise in my body, my health, my business, I hire people to get their specialty and how I can be better. And I know that a lot of people will never put in that investment and they think they know because they think they know. And the louder they are, the less they know, the louder they are. Okay, the less they know, the louder they are. And I think, and be very straightforward, that's a lot of Americans right now. That's why Americans are so effing loud. They're so loud because they think they know so much about the world and they haven't even like gone out of their state or out of the country and they think they know so much about the world. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be that type of person. I want to stay curious. I want to stay open minded. I want to listen. I want to take feedback. And that's why I started my podcast. I started my podcast because I wanted to connect with people who are in their specialty, who know their job and are forging their path. They're owning it. And now they are helping others to forge their own path too. And so I would rather be around people who have the type of mentality and they also are not loud, like obnoxiously loud. A lot of people are obnoxiously loud, especially when they don't know and they want to feel like they know. So I'm like, you know what? I don't want to deal with people like that anymore. So I've really detached and I've really protected my peace. And since I've done that, my God, it has been so quiet. It's been so quiet and I love it. I love it. I dealing with people's bullshit. For people who think that they have to deal with other people's bullshit, you don't have to deal with other people's bullshit. You have your boundaries. And I had to really, really work on my boundaries on what they were, what I was willing to accept, and what I'm like, you know what? No. And, coming from my background, being Hmong, we are very family oriented and we're all of our family, extended family. And so there are certain things that we can't cut off when so when white people are like, just cut them off. Why do you do with this? It's like, okay, we can't cut off people because we are very family oriented, we're very communal. And so I say, I can't cut off certain people, but I can have my boundaries with them. And so I've really learned to have boundaries with family members and family situations. And I take everything with a grain of salt. Everyone wants to give me feedback. Everybody wants to give me advice. Everybody wants to give me feedback and advice on my personal life, my professional life. Even though they're not doing anything, they want to give me feedback on things. And so I've really learned to take everything with a grain of salt. I take feedback from people who are actually doing it and and I'm also very mindful of who is actually giving me the feedback. And so this past year, I've detached. I've learned to protect my peace. I've really worked on my boundaries. I've really worked on my inner self. And that required me to really step back, be isolated, and get my clarity, get my quietness, get my wisdom to really know who I am and what I want. And yeah, so for anybody who is watching this and wondering how can they protect their peace, how can they have boundaries, I say sometimes you have to create a bubble, create your own bubble. And again, even though I created my bubble, it does not mean that I am not socially aware of like things going on in the world. Like, I'm very socially aware. I'm a person who is very aware of the international things that are going on. That's just the type of person that I am. And so I think it's very important to be aware of all of this so that You know what is important and what values and what ethics you have, and what are things that you're like, okay, that's not very ethical, that's not human, that does not value the human life. And so I know all of that. I'm very aware, and I do what I can to show my support. I donate money to causes that I believe in, that I think is important. And again, I also protect myself by saying, you know what, though? There are things that are out of my control, and it's out of my control, but what is it that I can do to help support these causes? So, yeah, detaching has helped me get the BS out of my life. Like, it's like all the bullshit. It's like, you know what? You don't need this bullshit. And I don't need this chaos in my life. A lot of people don't realize you have the power. You have the power to see who gets your energy and who doesn't. And you really don't owe anyone anything. And it's important to have your boundaries, especially to my viewers out there who come from, again, cultural backgrounds that are very, very family oriented and about other people. You can have boundaries, and boundaries are not just for white people, which I am going to do a YouTube episode on that, for your own pathway. That boundaries is not just for white people. You can detach, you can protect your peace, and yeah, and you can let go of all the bullshit that is unnecessary in your life. So this is my episode vlog of the week. Lots of things coming up, and I think this is all that I have to say. I hope you enjoyed this week's vlog. A lot of things that went outside, did showed the behind the scenes things. And again, I love doing this vlog because there's no scripts. There's no script. It's just me talking out loud and expressing how I feel. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for more vlogs. Lots of things happening behind the scenes of your own pathway. A lot of creativity, and stay tuned. And for those who watch this, who are new to my channel, please hit the like and subscribe button. I can't talk today. Please hit the like and subscribe button and continue to watch. And thank you for all your support. So I will see you all next time. Take care.